It's the kind of comment that stops you mid-scroll. A chaser, someone who spends every single day standing across from Bradley Walsh on one of Britain's most-watched quiz shows, quietly admitting something most fans never expected to hear. Not gossip. Not a scandal. Something quieter and, in a strange way, far more revealing, the truth about what he's actually like when the cameras roll and nobody's performing for anyone. Dara Ennis, known to viewers as the Menace, joined the chase as its newest chaser and, once he settled into the role, opened up about life behind the scenes on Bradley Walsh's show. And what he said wasn't the kind of manufactured, PR-friendly soundbite you'd expect. It felt honest. It felt a little vulnerable, even. And that's exactly why it stuck with people. Here's the moment that really lands. Dara said Bradley is every bit as charismatic off-camera as he appears on screen, that what viewers see isn't an act. Think about how rare that actually is in television. So many presenters have a switch, a version of themselves for the cameras, and a completely different energy the second the red light goes off. Dara's insistence that it's not an act isn't just a throwaway compliment. It's a small, telling detail about a man who's been fronting a daily ITV quiz show since 2009 and somehow still shows up as himself. But it's what Dara said next that really deserves attention, because it flips the entire show on its head. He explained that a huge part of Bradley's job isn't actually about trivia at all. It's about people. According to Dara, the majority of what Bradley does on set is focused on keeping contestants calm, stopping ordinary people from freezing up the moment those studio lights hit them. Sit with that for a second. We've spent years watching The Chase assuming Bradley's role is entertainment, pacing, comic timing. And here's a chaser, someone who watches him do the job daily, saying his real function is almost pastoral. He's there to protect nervous strangers from panicking on national television. That reframes so much of what longtime viewers have felt without ever quite naming it. Every time Bradley cracks a joke right before a tense cash builder round, every time he softens the mood after someone stumbles on an easy question, every time he seems to know exactly when to lighten the atmosphere, that's not random charm. That's a skill. A quiet, consistent kind of emotional management happening in real time, in front of millions of people, and somehow making it look effortless. And then there's the detail about backstage life that feels almost cinematic in how it reveals the show's internal hierarchy. Dara described being physically kept apart from contestants before filming, separate queues, no wandering off alone, people actively managing where the chasers can and can't go. He called it unsettling, which is such an interesting word choice. Not annoying. Not exciting. Unsettling. There's something almost isolating in being the villain of a beloved show, kept at arm's length from the very people you're about to compete against, all in service of protecting the game's tension. But here's where it gets even more human. Dara made a point of saying that despite the chasers being household names in their own right, Bradley is, in his words, the true center of attention. Not the quizzing geniuses with nicknames like the Beast or the Vixen. Bradley, the host, the constant. And there's something almost touching about a colleague acknowledging that so plainly, without ego, without competitiveness, just an honest read on how the show actually functions. It also says something about longevity, doesn't it? Bradley Walsh has been doing this job for well over a decade, recording multiple episodes a day, greeting new contestants over and over, managing nerves that reset with every single taping. And according to someone who watches him do it up close, he hasn't hardened into a performer going through the motions. He's still, apparently, just Bradley, warm, present, unmistakably himself whether the cameras are rolling or not. Maybe that's why this kind of insight resonates so much with audiences. We like to believe the people we invite into our homes every evening are exactly who they seem to be. Most of the time, television doesn't let us find out. But every so often, someone on the inside gives us a small, honest glimpse, and it turns out our instincts were right all along. So what do you think? Does it surprise you that Bradley's real job might be less about quizzing and more about quietly holding nervous contestants together? Or does it just confirm what you always suspected watching him at home?